It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, it's the big detecting show.
Talc. Didn't fall over.
It's Thursday and it's what he said. Good evening, Adrian.
Good evening, dear. How are you?
All the better for seeing you at the weekend.
Oh, what a weekend. Detecting together. First time ever, me and Dave. We spent all this virtual time together and we've been to rallies, and Dave has a stall and I'm busy doing other things, and we detected together and it was an absolute pleasure. He, not only is he joyful in the field, he carries a portable tuck box, which is bigger than a petrol station. And he's got everything on him, full of gear. Absolutely, but yeah.
Want a drink, Adrian? Sure, you got one. Here you go.
Yeah, but the way you pulled it out was like a samurai sword. You just went like that. Yeah, because I might have had a bit to drink the night before. But yeah,
that wasn't your fault though. It was somebody else who's in the chat's fault. I suspect.
Gym painting, yes. So we stayed at the same hotel. Didn't share beds in the end, and we met some nice people from our region in the bar, and it all went a bit wrong. But yeah, it was a good night.
And hello to them if they're watching, because apparently one of them watches, doesn't he, Adrian?
Yes, because we sat at the table for about an hour, and he said, "Do you do much metal detecting?" I went, "Just a little bit," and I didn't have my glasses on because I don't need my glasses on, and he recognised me from the show, which was nice. But yeah, it was good. A really good No Frills weekend. And we've got Mr. Rodney Cook and John Lydall on. I haven't got mine on tonight.
Do you know what? They're so comfy and
yeah,
aerated. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Those who don't know, one of our viewers, Andrew T from Canada, met me and Dave at this year's Detectable.
Rodney
Cook, and he was at Detectable as well, and he kindly gave us Canada t-shirts and maple syrup and wine and cake and everything else. Show us, Dave. Show us the top because it's quite cool. Yeah.
Means I'm Team Canada now.
Nice, very nice. Mine's upstairs actually, and I put it on the other weekend, came down in it, and everyone's like, "Why are you wearing that?" It's like, Andrew T bought me this, and then I explained it all. But anyway,
tonight's guests, Adrian, John, and Gary, will be with us in about 20 minutes, due to Gary being on his way home still, and John being not very good with the Tinterweb, apparently.
Oh, poor old John. Talking to John, he came up to me last weekend, No Frills, and he said, "I've got something for you." And what did he give me? A brand new.
And it is brand new.
It's not grey, it's green, but we have a green screen, so that's why it goes all funny. But this is brand spanking new. Look at that.
Brand spanking new old technology.
I am so excited. And John drinks port, and I'm going to send him one. But look, it's even still got the sticker on it. So this detector is nearly...
that button on the end? Is that a pinpointer?
Yeah. So 50 years old. 50 blinking years old. And to top it, sorry, Dave, going technical. Not only have I got the original Garrett Buyer's Guide that tells you all about the machine, but I've also got, I need to blank this out because it's GDPR, the man's name, the original Telegraphy Act, which we used to have to get before we went metal detecting. And to top it, obviously I write for Treasure Hunting magazine and I do the magazine. So those of you who don't know, I do the layout and the page design. We've got a 1978 Treasure Hunting manual. And look at that.
What does it say on the front? An annual guide? Annual guide to profitable treasure hunting.
And what got me, right?
How much was that for such a thick copy?
It's quite a lot, $195. But Joan Allen, right? They had, I don't know if you can see it here. Look how many showrooms they had.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a big book. But it's really, really...
And you got excited about something else that's 50 years old that was within it, didn't you?
I had to change my pants. Well, apart from the person who bought this machine, he wrote a list of all the things where to detect. He wrote a list. He's never used the machine. He might have died about it. But what got me even more excited is I've got an original Garrett metal detectors sticker. It doesn't smell. And yeah, really fantastic at John sending me that. And that machine will go out with me when I have the Vortex. So, which will be soon. So I'm going to take this machine out and the Vortex and see what the difference is in 50 years. Which, talking of 50 years, sorry, Dave, I'm wrapping on. I took a machine out today that's been out for 12 years, similar to the Deus One.
Yeah. And
I made my own wireless headphone setup, so no wired headphones. And blinking heck, straight away, bang. Coin weight, I think.
No, that's a token, that one, isn't it?
Well, it could be a coin weight. It could be a token or a coin weight. I'm because it's got a hole in it. So normally they took a bit of weight out. An old coin, which I don't know. And then another coin weight, which I've got to work. Oh, I can see it better on here. Another coin weight. Then a blinking hammered. Nice hammered. And a few other bits with a machine that's 12 years old, 18 hertz, single frequency, over, I didn't tell you this, land that I've detected with the Manticore, the Xterra Elite, Deus 2, Deus 1 HF coil, you name it, all the latest machines, and it brought that up. So, yeah, interesting. And the C-Scope machine has soon got some mods coming for those who've got one. But
and you enjoyed the weekend as well because you used the gold mask all weekend, didn't you?
Yeah. So when I turned up on Saturday and saw you, and we had a kiss and a cuddle and a little lay down together. After that, we met Sid Perry, and he said, "What's that you got?" I said, "Oh, it's Gold Mask 7." Multi-frequency machine, but you have to switch it, and it did quite well when we were together detecting, didn't it? It was finding stuff, and the distributor of Golden Mask is coming on the show soon to talk to us about their machines and other detectors. But yeah, the gold mask did really well actually because it was heavily ionised soil, and
I was going to crucify myself at one point.
yeah, you had a bit of trouble with the Manticore, didn't you?
Yeah,
me.
You all down south of the Watford Gap get the mineralised soil. Up here in the north, we haven't got any iron. I've never experienced it before. I don't know about mineralisation. I've never detected in an area so mineralised that it just
Well, Sid Perry, it was a gamble. I did have other machines in the car, but I thought I'll try it out. And it's in next month's Treasure Hunting magazine, the review. But it's a bit like you pull up at the traffic lights and you've got a hybrid electric EcoBoost, whatever monkey chunky car. And then next to it, you've got your naturally aspirated car without turbo or anything, but it's tuned. It's like that. It's weird. Multi-frequency is really good, but I like personally listening to the tones and working out for myself whether or not to dig. So yeah.
Well, I didn't have that option because most of the time it was going off and I didn't know what it was going off for. But
yeah.
And I've got to thank Anthony Police. I had a chat with Anthony on the Saturday night. Turned me back for 2 minutes and he was fire dancing with a big thingy with fire everywhere, which was nice.
It's like they threw pictures of the Northern Lights outside.
There's Northern Lights outside and I'm in the house.
They're sitting on the phone.
What's wrong with the Southern Lights?
Oh, we don't want them.
Tell us.
No, but it is.
Better.
Anyway, he was fire dancing, but he also was telling me how he set up his Manticore in beach mode. And I was like, yeah, what's that about? And then he sort of like, I realised some of the things that Anthony's been pulling up over a period of time. So I lashed man in beach mode on the Saturday. And I was still finding things. So it can't be all that bad. So I'm looking forward to actually trying that on some of my old machines. It did quieten the machine down a little bit as well.
Yeah, you can do it on the Equinox beach mode, certain settings, but yeah, it's hit or miss. You might have a good day. What's going on here?
You can as well.
Donna Martin, wow, Jim, just saw you won. Oh, Jim Painting won a Deus 2. A viewer who watches. He won a blinking Deus 2 at the No Frills event. Those who haven't been to Rodney Cook's rallies, there's always really good raffle prizes and loads of detectors. And Jim,
it was a pleasure to meet Jim as well. Lovely chap. Our first time meeting.
Yeah, and
I did used to like as well. Rob Random, don't anymore. Bought me cake. Didn't tell me he was going. Went to find him to give him something and to retrieve cake. Found out he'd gone home and then sends me a video of himself eating said cake, and it looked very nice. So he's on my shit list now, to be honest.
There were a lot of people there who came up and said hello to us, which was nice. I didn't see Rob, but yeah, it was Donna Martin. What's Donna's talking about? Hi, Donna. She's got COVID.
Oh, there's Maggie. Maggie Molly. Maggie Molly.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. Also, the guy who won the hairdryer with no hair.
What?
No Frills. A guy won a hairdryer and he hasn't got any hair. He's bald.
Right.
I think I'm right. I think Tidy Treasure Hunt. I didn't see Adrian. No, I didn't see you.
That's Claire the Hair as well. Hello, Claire the Hair.
Come on. Oh, Claire. Oh, hi, Claire. Claire is a marshal at RCM, which I've got to say, as usual, absolutely smashed it, didn't they, Dave? From turning up, parking the car.
I've never been to the No Frills, so my whole RCM thing is the big RCM thing. But to get there, and it was stripped down to a sandwich van, dragger detecting, and a toilet. Well, our toilet, some toilets. And it ended up being fantastic just to be able to sit there out with your mates around the fire, having a chat with your lad. He's made so many memories this and so many friends this weekend. He's absolutely loved it. Didn't like the MyLab or Xterra probe, not because he couldn't understand it, but he had a whale of a time. And again, he found 3 coins. I didn't find one.
Yeah, he did well, your boy, didn't he? Really well.
That's the Vanquish, though, isn't it? It's a bloody bangs them out.
Yeah, it's a good machine. I think you can't tweak it too much. Like Nick Berry, nice to meet Mason. Nick, box and pen. Is that a prize? Prizes from last week, and Philip Wills, I did email Graham Dempsey, but I was delayed. So, Philip Wills, hopefully you've got... Can you hear that?
Is the boy coming drunk again, or have England scored and he's made the noise?
Oh, yeah, soccer's on, isn't it? I forgot about that. There's so much going on in the chat. Northern Lights, Donna Martin. Donna, this is... You got North
You're
and
down
South lights here. Yeah. Someone's talking about single frequency. Oh, okay, Philip. I'll check on that. Before I forget, Stephen Brame, your voucher that you won last week for the £50 Dragon detecting, have you checked your spam folder? Because they did send it. And you did reply to me on an email, but I didn't quite understand it. And I was sober. Rob Random, interesting. Stephen Brame wanted to talk to Donna, but he didn't have a chance. Donna's
I'm going to
very
take
shy.
this moment to say hello to my friend who I give a lift to work. Tap. Hello, Tap.
Tap.
Tapawasabida. I think I've pronounced that correctly.
Oh,
First part's right.
interesting.
Usually it's the second half's wrong.
Steve Petscombe, look what he's put.
Rob, my upstairs light is on.
Dave, you know when you go in the lounge?
Yeah. To put the
And
big
you
light
put-
on.
Yeah, why is it called the big light? Because it's not that big, is it?
It is in comparison to all the little lights. Because when we were in the good old days, way back when, we had big lights. That was the big light, and everything else was little, wasn't it?
True. You still have candles, don't you?
4.
And paraffin lamps.
4.
Four candles and a paraffin light lamp. Nothing in your spam, Stephen. Okay, I will email Jelly tonight and tell her, and they'll send it again because they did send it out on the 4th of October, just after the show. So you will get your voucher, definitely, and you could possibly put that towards a new machine from Dragon, maybe.
Adrian, question. Right.
Yes.
So, the weekend, there were a hell of a lot of bob-on finds. There was a lot of golds, staters, Hamids, a lot of Hamid coins, figurines, etc., etc. Myself from up north, and Ricardo, and Shane. Shane had a Celtic unit. We're from up north and used to northern soil, probably not as used to the mineralization that was occurring. Do you think people who were generally from the area where they detect mineralization more so were the ones who were finding the better things?
No.
Okay.
I think you need a machine with quick recovery, and I think some people, not you, but some people might have played with their machines too much and probably messed things up. But it was a lot of land.
Oh, it was.
At the No Frills. And as we always say, you've got to walk over it to find it. So
to be fair, though, we didn't leave 4 fields, did we? It was 12 fields. We only done 1 till 4. I think you went in 12 as well, didn't you?
Yeah, briefly. Yeah, we didn't, but that's because we were talking a lot and mucking about, and Ricardo found a fossilised pig's, and he was waving that about. It's interesting, actually. I've got a picture of that somewhere. He found a really nice fossil, but yeah, I think my permissions aren't as heavily mineralised as that. So you talk about down south. I went out today with the sea scope, and there was a lot of iron, and it was a bit noisy in areas. But I think around that area it is very, very mineralised. So, but your Manticore was okay in the end, wasn't it?
Oh well,
I put you
still
on
going
single
off its
frequency. I put you on single frequency
Yeah,
for a
you
while.
put me on
didn't I?
15, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, David Evans. I struggled, Dave, with the Manticore. Drive me nuts. I was changing settings, couldn't find thing. Yeah. So I think when it gets like that, you can tweak your multi-frequency if you know what you're doing. But if you don't, just chuck it on single frequency, and you'll find stuff, and it will quieten down. Definitely. Steve Cord get a legend. Get a legend. Do you know what? The legend update I haven't done yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Not to have brought out this week, last week. No, last week. It's a beta.
This week.
No, it was last week, wasn't it? I think it was last week.
Was it?
But I haven't updated my legend. So I must do that because I'm going out with Boy Wonder this weekend, and he likes the legend, and I'll give him the legend. So, Mr. Cookie's coming on soon with John.
Yes, he is.
Are they going to tell us how much RCM has raised this year?
Interesting. It would be very interesting.
Should we could give a prize away for whoever gets the closest. I'm saying that. I'm trying to think what prize I could give. What sort of prizes would 90k? Philip Wills, 90k. Oh, sorry. I thought you meant give away. Oh, I think it might be more than that, Philip.
No, we can't be seen to be giving money away or even suggesting that we're going to give money away, Adrian.
No, I'm just thinking what I could give away.
Because then we'll have people of lesser brain power telling us that they're going to take us to court.
146,
I'm trying not to say
133.
retards then, but you know what I mean.
More importantly, when our tickets out for the next year? Okay, Stephen, very good question. If you subscribed or purchased a ticket this year, you will get an email. Steve Pettican, I think you're about right. 100 zloty. If you purchased a ticket this year or signed up to purchase a ticket, you will get an email, but check because they go in spam because you don't get one every week. You get like 2 or 3 a year. Check your spam. I think we might do a text this year as well to everyone because 99.9 received texts. John Clayton, don't forget Gary won the ITV best. Yes, John.
Well,
thanks for that.
Seeing that Gary and John are going to be coming on in a short period of time, shall we actually show that video now? It's a 4-minute long video.
Yes.
Now, hopefully this will work anyway. Present.
Oh, Keith Ellis got it. They might have beat last year's gym panting, but here we go.
Tell me if you can hear this, Adrian.
Oh dear. I think I might have to. Oh no. I'm trying to. No. Oh dear. Oh no. How do I get myself on the screen? Oh, that's interesting. Oh. Dave has currently got interweb issues, I think, but playing that video because his son is obviously on the interwebs. I might phone him up because this looks like an obituary. Dave's sitting there in the background. I might give him a call if you don't mind. I'm drinking a very interesting beer tonight from the
Hi, I'm back.
Oh,
Adrian, can I send you the link and you play it? Because it's not. As soon as I put it on, the internet went to Google. Then.
well, I think I can play it from the Rodney Cook Memorial website.
Oh, let's do that then. Even better.
So I will do that, dear. Present, share screen. Oh, here we go. Can you hear it? Well, it don't bloody play. Oh, maybe they've taken. Oh, hit the wrong
No,
button.
it's still there. Next
It's
to
not
that.
playing. It's not. Computer says no.
Well, that's ridiculous. Oh,
Maybe they've found out about
it was just playing on mine a minute ago.
Oh, maybe it's a interwebs thing, and they won't let it share. But
No, a minute ago it was playing all right on mine. It was just that it bombed me hurdy-gurdy out.
Let me try once more. No.
Be that Apple crap that you've got in it.
No, it's ITVX. Anyway, if you go onto rodneycookmemorial.co.uk, thanks, Rob Random. Very nice compliment. I appreciate that.
What is that?
The why Rob Random put this is like watching Last of the Summer Wine Wi-Fi edition. It is those internets. That's Norfolk, so you've got to do it in a Norfolk way. But if you go on rodneycookmemorial.co.uk on the homepage, it's there, the video, and you can watch Gary winning Southwest England Pride of Britain Awards, and from that, him and his wife are going to London for the main event in October, I think. But it's not just Gary and his wife, it's everyone. And if Gary could invite everyone, I'm sure he would, but he can't because there's limited tickets. Hopefully he wins it for the hobby. It'll put detecting in an even better light than what it needs to be in. And more importantly, it's raised nearly £500,000 for cancer charities, which I still can't get my head around. So, yeah. It is April Fool's Day, isn't it? Not yet, Jim. And we're yet to do a show on April Fool's Day, are we, Dave? Oh, I think he's got it on the interwebs. Wayne Rowlands. Hi, Wayne.
A
judging panel was assembled to look at all the finalists, and Seb went along to surprise our new fundraiser of the year.
So we're at the Dyson Cancer.
Oh. I think it's gone again. I think Dave, your internet's gone a bit Pete Tong. So yes, I think it's. Do you like this? I've found this button on here, and I can keep switching things around. So I think Dave's interwebs has gone.
Did they go again?
Yeah, I think it doesn't like it. So,
no, it likes it. It's my internet, pap.
Well, maybe I should try and play it.
Well, I went directly to ITV in
there. Anyway, Gary will be on shortly. I reckon he's on an exhibition, isn't he, or something?
No, he's an exhibitionist.
Oh, right. Well, if that video does play, people don't want to watch it because he'll be on live with us very shortly.
Yeah, so, blame the hurricane, Dean McAvady, who's your daddy?
Yeah. Shame.
He said he's here. He's messaged me, say he's here, so he should be with us actually live any minute now. We'd like to say. So, yes, great weekend, and obviously the follow on to another successful Rodney Cook Memorial as well.
Yeah, the weather was good, and there was a lot of gold that came up. A lot of gold. Gary will tell us how much. In gold status alone, tens of gold status, plus everything else. Shane is right. Gold. A lot of gold came up, and some amazing artifacts came up. Really, really cool. And unfortunately, me and Dave didn't find any, but we found friendship, didn't we, dear? So
we did. Oh, Wayne Rowlands, you're a legend. He's got us in the Norwegian Army ration pack. I won't tell you how excited Adrian will be.
Please.
He's gone. He's gone. I don't know where. Oh, he's back.
Why should Wayne send me that when he made me this beautiful box? Look at that.
With your ashes in.
No. Oh, the smell. Look at that. He made me. Look at that. How can he? I'll tell you what, Wayne.
Hello, Mr. Cook.
When you do go to heaven, you will go on a golden chariot, mate. Especially what you've done for RCM as well. Huh?
Sent it to you about an hour ago.
You should be blushing, one.
Ciao.
Trent Gary's in his pants with John. Trent have just had a bar. Is Gary still in Manchester? Because he had an exhibition. Oh, he's back home now, is he? Because he had an exhibition or court. Rob, I could fill it. Yeah, RCM never. Oh, I have found. My son found a trade weight, but I've never really found anything of consequence at RCM. Everyone else does. But that's probably because I spend most of the time drinking and talking at RCM.
You spend a lot of time talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so did I.
Robert.
And singing. I spent a lot of time singing as well.
Oh.
Is Gary coming in?
No, it's Badger, I think. Oh, no, it's my wife. You all right?
Hello.
Did you find it then, Gary?
I don't know what happened. I'm still in Manchester mode.
At least John's not. John, do you want to sit at the front?
Hey! Is that
top
it?
Man? Yeah, top man. I'm going to take it out with the vortex when I get it, John. But John, in the box was that.
Yeah.
That. And sorry, those who are watching have seen it. I've got to mark out the name. Wireless telegraph license that we used to have to get many years ago, signed and dated. Wow. So thanks for that, John.
And also there was that other magazine which Mrs. Gaylor raised umbrage with. It
sounded like for Jazzle, but wasn't. I think that was John's because it had lots of cut out faces stuck on it and stuff. But yeah, Gary, you've had a busy week. A very busy week.
I've literally left Manchester, Old Trafford, doing a trade show.
Listen, nobody's perfect. Now you've been there. Get off the show. Go. We don't want you here.
Sorry, I don't.
You're tarnished.
Trade shows are up. No, got back from the rally Sunday night. Monday, had to get myself ready, and then an early start Tuesday up to Old Trafford, do the trade show. Left at 3:30 this afternoon, got stuck on the M56, M42, and I literally walked through the door. John and Lisa's having a coffee. Then I got stressed because I couldn't put the laptop up, couldn't get the laptop on. And then I forgot my Facebook password, and I'm thinking, well, we're meant to be going on in a couple of minutes. No, I've literally walked through the door straight in.
Yeah, we're on. We're here.
And we're here. At last. We made it. So I'm ready to go.
You got work tomorrow, Gary?
Yeah. I know. I'm a glutton for punishment. I know.
Firstly, I'd like to say how well the No Frills went. Really smooth. Well, apart from one customer that we won't mention, Gary.
Yeah. The Paul was playing his guitar too loud.
Yeah. Someone
John's,
was playing.
and that other one who kept them complaining that John's generator was too loud.
Yeah.
Oh, that was me.
Some bloke in the neighbouring van moaning. God, dear, you don't have to get some, don't you? Next time we'll have a silent running generator just for you.
I think you should.
I wasn't complaining. I just couldn't hear myself think.
Yeah, you did.
It'd have been all right if I'd have got there an hour earlier and I'd have parked where Scott had parked and he'd have parked where I'd have parked. I'd been all right then. I wouldn't have heard it.
But you had perfect weather. Friday, fine. Saturday was a beautiful day. It was full sunshine, and the fields.
Yeah, I don't know who was looking down on us at the weekend, but whoever God we prayed to,
Jesus.
Yeah, because
he was.
We got there. Me and John got there Thursday, and it was dry and sunny. We'd had biblical rain running up to it. I was contemplating building an ark at one point to see if we could all get in that. And we were worried about it, weren't we, John?
Yeah, we were very worried, definitely.
But then
the ark?
About the ark. And just literally we would all be washed away in the flood, basically. Because we knew the ground there wasn't too bad for walking around on, but we weren't worried about that. As metal detectorists, if you can't metal detect in the rain, or if you can't metal detect in a little bit of sticky mud, then you should be a metal detectorist, should you? At the end of the day, we're all used to that. But it was the logistics of getting in everyone, and then getting them off. And we had the one thing that we always make sure, me and John, with the RCM, is that we have contingency plans. We have plans in place if something bad happens, or if something, we out of our control, like the weather. So we had hard standing on the other side of the road. We had tractors available if needed. But when we got there on the Thursday, the sun was out. Me and Ricardo went out and put all the field flags, and we were driving around on the fields, and we thought, this isn't going to be too bad. And then, like you said, Adrian, Friday, when everybody turned up, the sun was out and it was clear and it wasn't too bad, and there was a bit of a breeze blowing, which was helping to dry out. Everybody had a great time in the fields. And then Saturday, like you said, was glorious. We had literally wall-to-wall sunshine all day. Sunday was a bit cloudy, but to be honest with you, John, we had a little bit of drizzle, but literally the last person left the field and the heavens opened, didn't they? Literally.
That was funny because so many people left on Saturday night, Rob Random and Steve Pettican, expecting it to be so wet.
Exactly.
And I woke up expecting to hear me top of my van roof being splattered, and I got out and there was nothing.
Yeah, exactly. We were very lucky. It just apparently it missed us by a few miles, and then we had a tail end in the afternoon of a little bit. But we got through the raffle with no rain. We got through most of the Sunday without anything really hardcore heavy. And as I say, literally, we were driving home on the Sunday, and we were driving through the heavy rain. It was coming towards where we were going to be.
We left about 5:30, and I had my camper van windscreen wipers on double white for virtually the whole way home. It was unbelievable. The floods. I mean, my van was clean by the time I got home. We washed all the mud off it. But, I mean, it was unbelievable. There was floods all the way back through Pewsey, all the way back to Devizes. I got to Trowbridge where I live, and the sun was out.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
it was literally as if somebody had thought to themselves, you know what, I'm going to give them a break. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them a break, and we're clear the skies for them for a few days. And not only did they clear the skies, but they also gave us some fantastic finds, didn't they?
Well, we were just saying, Gary, before you came on, there was a lot of gold that came up. Gold status alone, how many were there?
Well, altogether spread across the site, you know, they were coming up from virtually every field on the rally. But I think was it between 10 and 12?
Yeah,
10 and 12 gold status altogether that were found. There was 2 gold hammers. There was right at the very end, a guy came up to me and said, do you want to see the last gold coin to come off the field? And it was a Charles I hammered unit, I think. Yeah. We had another
gold teeth as well.
Gold teeth, there was, wasn't there? Gold false teeth, mate. There was was it a half guinea? A half guinea.
There's a sovereign.
There was a sovereign and a half guinea.
Yeah.
William III. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a gold ring, quite a modern gold ring, but it was a gold ring. But for me, the find of the weekend for me was the rather rude statue.
I'll find it. Keep talking.
He was a bit rude, and he was but it was that statue, wasn't it? That was either Roman or Celtic. They're not sure. And it was a statuette that had been found, and for me that was just incredible. You know, there was a lot of Roman bits and pieces as well. Quite a few fibulas come up. Sorry, Ed.
Well, there was quite a few fibulas, but not as many as I.
Not as many as I expected. John.
No, I like to say that.
Yeah.
Can I? I'm just going to share the find, which
you realise this show's going to get struck off now for having copyrighted music on it. Thanks.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses.
That is the rude thing.
The rude rider. So I think looks like he might have been sat on something at one stage,
or something was sat on him.
Quite interesting. But yeah, there's that was a lovely find. But
that was
more importantly, I think a lot of people enjoyed themselves, and there was especially a very sad but happy story, wasn't there, Gary, from that guy who found 2 hammered.
Yeah, John and Pauline upset me a lot, to be fair. It kicked into me, and it got me very upset. And I think you had a tear as well, Abe, didn't you? When we were at the finds cabinet, John got a bit upset with it. We all, you know, I especially take it to heart, and I take a lot of, I find it very hard inside sometimes, because people tell me their stories at all the RCMs, and I absorb their stories and their personal stories with cancer, and it's a lot of responsibility to have to take. You know, when somebody is telling you their personal story about their cancer story or and that, it's quite a I find it hard, but I also I'm determined to make sure that I sit and listen, and we have a cuddle, we have a talk, and people want to tell me their story, and I'm obliged to listen. And this particular couple, John and Pauline, John, I'd spoken to them before, and John hadn't said anything. So I've come across him in the field, and, you know, how you doing? Have you had any luck? Oh yeah, you know. And he said, but my wife's just had a hammered. She's just there. So I had a chat with her, and she was telling me about, you know, and then it came out that John's got stage 4 cancer, and we don't know how much time or you know, he's having another form of treatment, and we're fingers crossed that it's gonna you know, work for him. But it hit me so hard. And
he told you that he missed the treatment.
He actually had missed a chemotherapy treatment that was booked in that weekend because he was so determined to be at the RCM, to have support for people with cancer, to help other people, to show his support for cancer. And he missed a chemotherapy to be at the RCM. And for me, that really did kick in to me. And I was crying inside, and his wife, and I just put my arm around both of them and gave them a big cuddle because I couldn't think of anything else to do. And I told him straight that he was going to be at the RCM next year. He is going to be there, and he's going to be my personal guest, my hero, because I told him that that's what the RCM is for. People like him and his wife is exactly what the RCM was done. And I can feel myself welling up now just talking about it.
Well, he wanted to have a find, didn't he?
He said to me that he wanted to find a hammered. He wanted to find a hammered. He found an Elizabeth sixpence. And that is why the RCM was started. It was started for people like that. And he got his hammered and he was so happy. And for me, that is all the RCM is about. Those two people, they are the real heroes. They are the true heroes. They're the real hardcore heroes of the RCM. He missed a cancer treatment, a chemotherapy treatment with stage 4 cancer to come to the RCM. And I'm just in awe of him and his wife. In awe of both of them. And I hope they're watching, or I hope they get told, because I wanted to tell them how much, and I did tell them, I told them how much it's just in awe of the both of them in reality. The bravery that they both gave off. And you chatted to them, and John chatted to them.
I think God forbid I end up in stage 4 with cancer, but if it was between me getting chemo and going to Tectin, I'd probably go to Tectin because stage 4 is not great. People do come out of it, but you need to enjoy yourself in life. And I thought it was lovely. He went out of his wife to Tectin. He found a coin, he hammered, and without the event, he's putting money in towards something that's helping him and everyone else. And he had a lovely time, really nice guy.
Amazing. And they kept coming up and saying hello. And, we had such a great weekend. And it was sad in other ways, but then in other ways it was happy. The landowner came in and he was over the moon with everything. He was just so happy for us to be there. And he said to me that he said to me and John, would you mind if my grandson came in the afternoon and could he borrow a metal detector? And he wanted to go out into the field. So I said to John, I said, well, why don't we just go one better than that? And we went to Dragon Detecting, and me and John purchased a Mind Lab Go Find, the children's Go Find, and we had a little pinpointer. We got an RCM hat. We had some finds pouches that had been donated to us as giveaways at the last rally, and we had one of those left over. So we kitted out his grandson with a brand new metal detector, and he was over the moon. I'll send Dave a photograph, and then maybe Dave could put it up. But it's just this young little lad, 8 years old, and we kitted him out with a set of metal detecting. And who was it? It was Elliot and Maggie, the two younger
people,
two of our younger marshals, took him out into the fields, and he was having a wonderful time. And the great thing is, he's not going to have nowhere to detect, as his granddad owns about three huge estates, so he's always going to have somewhere to go metal detecting. But I'll just send Dave a picture because he was a lovely little lad, and I've just sent it now, mate. He was a lovely little lad, and he wanted to take up metal detecting. So we thought we'd get a little, a little package together for him, and it was fantastic. And little Rory.
I think that is so nice because he's got an RCM camo hat.
Yeah, we gave him that. Did you want one then, Dave? Did you want one, Ed?
No, thank you. I don't do camo. I've still got my 4-year-old RCM hat covered in sweat and mud and stuff like that. John sits there in the background, very quiet, Gary, smiling. John does a hell of a lot. And I want people to realise, watching tonight, Gary, you are the face of RCM, but all the marshals, the volunteers, especially the admin, everything in the background. But John, you look at John at the RCM and you're like, all right, John, he's constantly going like that. He's like a hawk. He's constantly on it. And I want to say, I think Dave will back me up on it. Well, he will back me up. John, well done for this weekend because, mate, you were running around like a blue-ass fly whilst Gary was crying and chatting shit to everyone. And
he was even putting screws in for me, Adrian.
He was driving my bloody 4x4 a weekend because he got behind the wheel of my 4x4 and I never seen it again until Sunday.
I thought I'd have a sit-down job this time.
No, all serious. Yes, he is my hero.
The thing is,
without him, he's my older brother. He's the brother I never had. And I love him with all my heart.
Younger brother, Gary, come on. Be honest.
He looks after me.
What you got to remember is that, and I did say it because I know I did have a moan on the Saturday morning to people about somebody wasn't very nice to a couple of our marshals, and it's and I said my marshals because I feel responsible for them simply because we asked them to volunteer to put everything on hold to actually come to a weekend, work extremely hard, take care of people. And what I definitely don't expect from paying guests is that for them to be rude to people and not to be happy. And unfortunately, especially when it gets to sort of the weekend, I've already done a little bit of work, the same as Gary and so have a few other people. And when as I'm getting older, I find I've got a bit of a shorter fuse with people. So when people have a moan or they step out of line, I feel like they need to be put in their place a bit, which I don't mean to do, but it's just one of those things where because we want to be organised, because we want everybody to have a good time, because it is what we're about, the organisation and trying to get it the best we can do for everybody. And I realise, like Gary says, with people that come that have cancer and everything else, we want to be a stress-free, happy environment. And the thing is when you make the rules and you do everything you do and you do all the preparation you can, that we want it to run smooth. And that's, and it's so much time involved in people getting it right that when it doesn't, some of the things don't quite go right and people have a moan, it's just like, or people aren't doing what you expect them to do, then I felt I had to say something the other day about confidence. I honestly don't, I know this is probably a bit of a moan, but I don't get why people just don't kick the hole back in and stamp it down. It's easier in a stubble field than it is in a grass field, and take your rubbish away and what have you. It's quite simple. And the bit about being rude to people, you shouldn't be rude to anybody, and there was no need for that. So it was the first time I've ever really said anything, but I did notice the whole thing was a bit better the next day. So maybe some people did take notice, but in general, they have a fantastic time and they all behave themselves. 99% of the people will behave themselves. It's the odd one, but that's why we try to be organised so we can keep a lid on that sort of thing. Definitely.
I know what it's like to feel the wrath of John telling me off. So I know what they all felt like when he told them all off, because he tells me off all the time. So I have to do as I'm told, so they have to as well.
I think it's 99.9% people get on at RCM. It's the 0.1% who who have an issue. But yeah, one of the marshals, Dave, brother, friend of yours, he came all the way from Scotland, didn't he?
Paul Norris, yeah, he comes to every rally. I met Paul in Essex at Kim.
In
Essex.
Essex, sorry.
I met Paul about 11 years ago at one of Kimbo's rallies.
Kimbo rally, yeah. Yeah, Boxton.
Just me and my friend Steve Murty happened to have our tent next to him and his mate Brian, and we just hit it off. And we've been friends ever since. And they used to come to stay for the weekend down our way in Wiltshire, and they used to come out metal detecting with us. And then when we started the RCM, Paul wanted to be a marshal, and he comes. There's a joke that we always say he comes from the Outer Hebrides because he comes such a long way. But Paul, but the very first time I met Paul, the very first hour of knowing Paul, I found an Edward penny on Kimbo's rally, showed it to Paul, and he snapped it in half. He snapped my coin in half.
That was to show you forever friendship.
And I still
and you keep off.
But I do love him to bits. He's a lovely bloke.
James Barnes has said, thanks to John and Gary, new archaeology has been discovered at the Summer RCM site. He's heading back this weekend to extend the search, and we saw some of the James's results of that at the event, and they were astounding, absolutely astounding. Yeah.
Well, this is what people don't realise about the RCM is we had James, who is an amateur archaeologist, and he's also a geophysicist. And unfortunately, if the powers that be were to actually, instead of trying to, without being too non-diplomatic, without attacking us all the time, if they were to actually stop and listen to us, or at least give us some attention, they would have known that we had trained amateur archaeologist on site and a geophysicist, and they might have learned something from the RCM. Instead of trying to attack it and attack things, they might have actually learned something. They might have been able to have actually thought, there's an amateur archaeologist and there's a geophysicist at the RCM. Good on them.
Well, we are like the radar that the archaeologists don't have, aren't we? We go out there searching, we find stuff, we find locations, we declare our finds, and those can potentially lead to further things. If you hadn't have had the RCM this year, we wouldn't have discovered what was found in that. It wasn't unearthed, but due to James's geophys equipment, wheelchair wheels, and plastic tubing contraption. I'm not mocking you, James, because it was an amazing bit of a kit. When he showed us on the screen what was underneath the ground, a bit deeper than the average detector would get, but it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. One of those skills.
He's discovered some archaeology that nobody knew was there, and he's going to go back and do some more, cover a more of an area that he can, and the landowner's blessing to go back as many times as he wants to complete his research, and then we can hand it over to the archaeologist to study. But instead of, this is what I say, instead of belittling us and attacking us, as metal detectorists and things, if they'd have had somebody there, they would have been able to have seen all of that and be able to work with James and liaise with James to go back and do some more study. But because all they think is that we're a bunch of treasure hunting thieves or whatever they want to class us as, they don't see that side of it. They don't bother to ask the question, and it's sad, really. I find it very sad because flows get invited to the RCM every year. Every year they get an invite to come with an open ticket to come and be part of it and to be part of it and to learn. And if they'd come this year, they would have seen James there and be able to. But they decline every year, and it's because the floats have been told they're not allowed to attend rallies anymore.
Yeah, they'd be very, 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 very busy though.
They would
do like an 18-hour shift.
I've always said,
document it all.
I've always said, Adrian, the name is in the title. Fines Liaison Officer. They are there to liaise with members of the public who make fines. So that's their job. That's what they get paid to do. So what better place to do that than a metal detecting rally? Because Paz has had so many, over 1 million fines recorded, and 98% of them are made by metal detectorists. So what better place than to go and liaise with fines, So like I've always find it very strange that they don't attend or do anything to, or and that would be like me doing all my coaching badges to be a qualified football referee. I've done me training, I've got me black shorts and me black top, and I've got me red and yellow cards, I've got me whistle, I've got me notebook, and I'm all good to go, and I'm ready to be a fully qualified football referee. And I go to the FA headquarters, I said, I'm here, I'm ready to go. Oh, wait,
but you failed the CRB check, didn't you?
Yeah. And they said to me, okay, Gary, yes, you've got all the qualifications, you're now a qualified football referee, but we don't want you to attend football matches. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
John, I tried showing a video earlier in the show, but tell us about the Gay Pride, the Pride of Britain Awards.
Should it be a rainbow top? We need an RCN rainbow top. An RCN rainbow baseball top.
So the Pride of Britain Awards.
Yeah.
Tell
us about them.
Hey?
Tell us about them, because we tried showing the video, but from the RCN perspective, tell us all about that.
Well, obviously we were nominated for the Southwest region. Well, put forward for the Southwest region as one of the candidates for Pride of Britain Awards for the Southwest, and obviously you couldn't see the video, but we've won. It's Gary's been to the Dyson Centre and accepted the what is it? It's a glass.
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah. We basically, the RCM, Gary, Lisa, and all of us have obviously managed to win the Southwest region, and we've been put forward. Obviously, you go forward to London for the it's the obviously on the telly. This has only come about. Obviously, it's the ITV. Can we sit just about a bit there? That's it.
Can't see you now, John.
Yeah, that's right.
What in front of Gary?
Yeah, it's a major achievement for somebody to, because a lot of people put in. There's all the other people that fundraise and do things for communities. So obviously we come out on top, I suppose it's recognition for 6 years worth of hard work. But the thing with this is, and what a lot of people don't realise, is this would never have come about if it wasn't for the fact that it was Gary's idea, and we sort of took it on board with him. But I mean, Gary and Lisa have drove this from the beginning, and obviously I don't think people really fully understand actually how much work is involved in it. Obviously, there was other people. Dave used to do it with us, who does the NCMD stuff, and we had through the years we've had an incredible team of people and marshals behind us to keep everybody going and work on it. But it takes a monumental effort to put on the main rally. It looks like it's fairly easy and it runs smoothly, and that's only because we learn every year about what we need to do to make it better, and we've always tried to. And we always do this when we come to the end of the year. We have a meeting, we have a mop-up meeting. We try and discuss what went well, what worked, what didn't work, how we can improve, what we're going to do next. They were on about this the other day.
Maggie just brought that up. Sorry, John, interrupting. Yeah, and Don's right.
John would be like Jake the Peg if you do that, though.
Well, I just say before we go smutty, this award is for everyone. It's for the RCM family. It isn't about an individual. It's not about even a group of us. This award is for all of the RCM family, for everyone who's ever bought a ticket, to anyone who's ever attended, to anyone who's ever helped, to anyone who's ever marshalled, to anyone who's ever donated or bought it, or his, the traders, the dealers, anyone. This is for the hobby of metal detecting. This award shows the world that the metal detecting community are actually a decent bunch of people, and they can do something fantastic. And if we win, you imagine, and I'm not saying for 1 second that we will, but it's being filmed on the 21st of October in London, and it will then be broadcast, I believe, a few days later. And you imagine if a metal detecting rally wins the fundraiser of the year for the Pride of Britain. You imagine what that could do for the hobby. It's already done something fantastic for the hobby. We've won the regional final, and we're going to the London, and we're a metal detecting rally. So instead of people looking at us in contempt and looking at the hobby as a bunch of people going out at night and stealing stuff out of the field, we're actually being seen as a group of people who have raised a lot of money for charity.
A hell of a lot of money.
And so we're not a bunch of horrible people who just want to go and dig holes in the floor. We're actually a decent bunch of people who care. And that's why the RCM is called a family. That's why the terminology family has been used with the RCM for the last few years, because that's what we all are. We all get together now and we all know each other, and everybody comes to the rally and they know what the rally's about and they know where it comes from. It was born from tragedy. It was born from the tragic death of my dad to the most evil disease ever invented. And it is come from such an awful thing to something that is incredible. And we've got hospitals now telling me and John that there are people alive today, physically alive today, because of what we've done. If it hadn't have been for the RCM, there would be people dead now.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
And we're enjoying what we do at the same time, which is bizarre in one kind of way, but amazing. And this fantastic hobby that we all love doing, you've created this event that we all love going to, and we're enjoying ourselves and raising money for charity.
And at the same time, we're saving people's lives. How much more better than that does it get? We should all be so incredibly proud of ourselves. We will, all of us, every one of us, for what we've done.
Talking of fundraising, Gary, I'm going to ask you a question.
And I'm going to listen to the answer.
So,
ballpark,
this year...
Ballpark.
Don't say anything yet.
I won't say, because we don't know.
We've had the RCM main event this year, which went off. A huge event. But I know, like you know, other people don't know, the bigger events get, the more of the cost. So the marquee costs lots of money, generators, gators, everything else.
We're not allowed to mention generators, Adrian.
I'm sorry, generators.
Here's some interesting facts. So this year we obviously had. Last year we had 3 minibuses. One of them was our own, but we hired 5 this year. We had, I think, an extra gator. The 5 minibuses just on the Saturday and the Sunday alone covered on average 300 miles each. Yeah, 1,500 miles between those, and it's only 2 miles to the end of the site, if that. So you can work out how many times they went up and down and round to those fields. It's quite an incredible amount. I don't know what sort of mileage the gauge has done because they don't use much fuel, but the generator ran for 90 hours. And in that 90 hours, it used £450 worth of diesel. So because it's obviously a big running generator, so you can work out the fuel costs for the site with all the minibuses, everything else. The one thing that we've sort of learned this year definitely is because we did step up in numbers. There was a lot more people there this year than last year, a good few hundred people more. You would expect us to perhaps have made more off of the main event, but as you say, the bigger you get doesn't mean you make more money. And the one thing that has changed from last year to this year is everything was like fuel's more expensive. Cost of minibuses, even though we had some, one was a community minibus, one was from Active Trowbridge, which was actually very reasonable price. All those sorts of things were all more this year than they were last year by about 10-15%. So all that really happened is the extra people covered the extra costs, if you like, involved in it. But because you've got more people, there's a little bit more cost. I mean, obviously, there's more people to spend money on the raffle and stuff like that, but it doesn't really equate to jumping up to the next stage. The only way you get to a massively significant bigger figure after a year is to either put on more No Frills events, or to have 2,500 people at a rally, which would be, for us, we would not cope with it. I mean, we were very, very lucky this year that our marshal numbers last year were, we were virtually short last year. We were short. We struggled last year. This year we had some amazing new people. Everybody that came along as new, you just throw them in at the deep end, and I don't think they really know what to expect. I mean, Steve, my work colleague, was one of the marshals this year. He normally goes on holiday, and a guy from our club as well, Leicester. I mean, they worked like Trojans. Everybody did. Every person just got stuck in, found a job, got on with it. And you would not know that at one point we had 75 marshals on the ground. But you wouldn't know that because you'd never seen any of them, because they were all doing something, right, busy, whatever they were doing, whether they were filling the water bowsers up, parking. It's just, with more guests means more marshals. So we had a lot more marshals to help. And this year, I think, was probably, for me personally, and myself and Gary and Lisa said, we felt like this year it ran very smooth. The year before, we struggled with some areas because of weather conditions, or different things. But I mean, the site was amazing this year. The weather was brilliant up until that thunderstorm, but it really didn't affect us. And it just, everything this year seemed to just, its planning worked well. But obviously, when it comes to the figure, we're not quite ready to give the figure out yet.
All we can say is, the only thing we can say at this precise moment in time is that I can guarantee pretty much that we have beaten last year.
Fantastic.
That's far as it can go.
Once we've done the last few things, obviously, because there's a couple of bills still to come in and sign off for the No Frills. Once we've done that,
to be honest with you, John's been straight after the No Frills. John's been at work. I've been up in Manchester. We just haven't had a chance to sit down together, and we won't be doing that until probably tomorrow, to actually sit down and actually look at what we're doing. And we got to get check presentations done. We got to get the charities involved. This year we raised the No Frills, for instance. Part of the deal with the No Frills site is that we donate money to the landowners charity, which is the Countryside Learning charity, which you saw the banners up, and then we had a representative there with us this weekend. And that is part of the deal to have the No Frills site from that particular landowner, that we make a donation to the charity that he helps. He is patron of. And it's a great charity, to be fair. It brings children from inner cities, children who would be living in a concrete jungle, never even seen a cow in a field, these poor children just live in council estates on flats, and they take them out, and they take them out for the day or for a weekend.
They camp in the woods.
They camp in the woods, and they get to see.
Yeah, they learn how to make a fire, and simple stuff that as kids we used to do all the time. And it's I think it's very, very important that they get that opportunity.
They get to experience the countryside, and I think that is a great charity.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
And we got to get three check presentations done, haven't we?
Yeah.
We got to get the RUH, the Royal United Hospital, the Great Western Hospital Cancer Charity, and obviously the Countryside Learning Charity. So we got to get all them together to do the check presentations. And like John said, we do have a couple of outstanding bills that we're waiting to come in. And then we can make the exact figure at a later date. We're hoping to get the check presentations all done, hopefully by the end of October. And then we can then move forward with, with the check presentations and be able to announce with you guys the exact figure. But as I said, I can quietly confident. I'll probably have egg on my face now, but I can quietly confident say that looking at what's going on, quietly confident that we will be beating last year. I don't know by how much, but we would pretty much say we've raised over last year.
Last year was 103,600 odd quid. So even if you raise 100,000 from two weekends, that's still an amazing amount of money. So
absolutely, like John's touched on, bills are going up. People haven't got as much disposable income as they used to have. People having to penny pinch and feel the pinch a little bit. Things have gone up. The marquee alone, and I'm quite happy to tell people, the marquee alone, once you've got the marquee itself hired, and once you've paid for the electric and the fuel to keep the marquee ticking over, you're talking the best part of 10,500 quid.
It was big marquee, huge marquee.
Tables and chairs that go in.
I'm just looking at what Dave's just put up on the screen, Wayne Rowlands, and this is what helps everyone and charities. Wayne Rowlands, my old army captain, has kindly offered to help with next year's event with 5 army DAF trucks, if that will help John and Gary. He's happy for you to contact him. I'll message you guys tomorrow. Things like that, because when Gary and John said about the award, it's little things like that. So someone might even say, I don't know, I've got a laminator you can borrow. It's minuscule things that people do in the background, but it all adds up to the RCM and why it's such a family event. It is. It's weird. People want to help.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we mean. It's everybody involved in any way, shape, or form in the RCM, no matter how big, little, or whatever they think that they've done. Every single piece of things like that help, and that is why we say that the award that we've won, the West Country Award, is for the whole event. It's not about one person. It's not about John or me or Lisa or the team. It's everybody. And and like I said, if we win the main one, and there's a 1 in 17 chance, there's 17 regions going up for fundraiser of the year. But if there's some miracle, we win it. I've already said to ITV that I will not accept this. I didn't accept this unless I could accept it. And if you've seen the BBC, the ITV news broadcast for the West Country, you'll see. I'll say I'm accepting it on behalf of the RCM. And I would rather not win it if I couldn't accept it on behalf of all of us, because that doesn't feel right to me. It's not about me or John, a couple of us. It's the whole rally, and that's what that award is for. So hopefully, you never know. We've done exceptionally well to get where we are, and if we do go on the whole thing, fantastic.
Yeah, if you win, but I think getting actually nominated for your region is in that little hobby we've got. It's not a big hobby. It is to us, but compared to fishing or go-karting or Scrabble, no. But it's not that well known, and I think it's probably actually. Is it the biggest award ever in the hobby of metal detecting? It must be.
It could well be.
Whoa. There's the big detecting show awards last year.
Oh, no. It's Gary won that. We
got that. So we can't really say. But no, I think that, the hobby itself gets a lot of battering. It does. Most of the press that the hobby gets is bad press most of the time. We get treasure stories being found in the newspaper. Man with a metal detector on his first trip out finds a gold hoard. We get those stories, those that the papers love. But then you also get a lot of the negative stuff. I've done lots of interviews on the radio over the last few years with the RCM, and in the end, I got into an argument live on the air with one radio presenter. Because all he wanted to do was ask me.
Very good, wasn't it?
All they wanted to do was ask me about the bad side of the hobby. I'd come on to talk about the RCM and the good side, and all they kept asking me was about night walking. And in the end, I said, if you're going to ask me one more question about night walking, I'm leaving. I'll cut myself off. I'm not here to talk about them. They're not the hobby. They're not part of the hobby. They're thieves. They've got nothing to do with metal detecting. They're just thieves. And I said, I'm not talking about it. So we get a lot of negativity. So this is a plus for us. This is new ground for metal detecting. This is new territory. This is me. The RCM are writing a new chapter for the hobby. We're moving the hobby in a direction that it's never gone before. We've suddenly got a rally that is specific. There are other events out there that do things for charity. Of course there are, and there are other metal detecting rallies, and they're very commendable that they raise. But this is the first major big rally where it's solely for charity, and we're moving that rally and we're moving the hobby in a completely different direction. We're taking the hobby into new territory. It's every day with the RCM is new ground that we're treading, and it's taking the hobby with it, and it's being looked at now by the Pride of Britain. The hobby is now being seen by the Pride of Britain awards. Who could have imagined that little old hobby of metal detecting is suddenly won a region for metal, for Pride of Britain, and we're now going into the final of Pride of Britain. And God forbid if we win it, imagine what it's going to do for the hobby. It's going to be people are going to be watching it all over the country and seeing the hobby of metal detecting is what we're achieving, and it's fantastic that we're doing that. And it's great for and it's great for everybody in the hobby. That we can actually now move the hobby in a completely different direction. Instead of just being thieves and treasure hunters and night walkers, we're actually a bunch of decent people raising hundreds of thousands of pounds for people with cancer. So people are going to be seeing the hobby in a completely different light. And I hope and pray that the people who knock the hobby, the people who want to destroy the hobby, will actually wake up and see it in a different light. And if they work with us, you never know what we can achieve. But if we don't work together, we'll achieve nothing.
Well said, Gary. Interesting comment here from Nick Berry. Are we allowed to vote for the winner? I think, Nick, live on the show. Well, it's the show's. Oh, actually, it's pre-recorded. So how?
It is pre-recorded. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So how do people vote?
No idea, mate. They haven't said anything to me. All I know is that the RCM are represented there. They film it, and then how they actually pick the winner, I don't know. Whether it's an independent voting team, I've got no idea.
Yeah, it is. It's independent judges. I think there's about 12 or 10 judges that, like celebrities, that vote. So we
never know.
vote. We
Well,
can't vote.
You never know. The hobby of metal detecting might be a new gimmick for them to have. You know, you just don't know, do you? We've never had a metal detecting rally win before. Let's use that.
Yeah, I think. I think it'll be interesting, but we are up against some other serious hobby charities and people.
You know, 17 regions and 17 altogether regions, and some of them, I don't know all of them. I know some of them are, I think some of them are. I don't think it's judged on what you raise and how much you raise. I don't think they would. Obviously, it's part of it, but they look at the people involved. They look at the backgrounds of the people. They look at how it's raised and everything else. So I don't think they fundamentally base it on the one who's raised the most money.
No, I think you're right, Gary. I think, and to be honest, a bloke, this is you, a bloke, to everyone around whose dad died, and he wanted to make a difference, and that difference has raised nearly £500,000 for charity. Not from holding a box in the street and annoying people, but offering people something they love, and that's the hobby of metal detecting. And he's made money. So not only have you made people happy, you've made charities happy and families happy. So
yeah, exactly, mate. And the RCM has inspired other people to do things. We've inspired people to be involved. We've inspired metal detecting groups to raise money to help to pay towards the gators. They've inspired people to sit up and think, I want to be part of this. I want to help. We get it all the time, don't you, John? You get messages from people saying, I want to be a marshal. I want to be this. Yeah. And we've inspired people to actually, instead of saying, oh, that's lovely, well done, they actually say, actually, I want to do something. I want to help. I want to help raise money. I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to upset anyone by missing them out, but we get other metal detecting groups, and me and John attend. And I'm going to use one as an example, the Knights Templar, for instance. We get an invite every year to go to one of their events, and they raise money for the RCM every year, and they donate money, and we go there, and they help, and Heart of England, Fraggle, he every year he raises money. We've had Dig Life, raise money for the RCM. Crusade with a Spade, loads of metal detecting groups. Cy Weber, Coil to the Soil, Lady Liz and Chris, they all kick in and do things to try and help raise money in their own way. And it's inspired people to be part of the RCM family and to help raise money.
The thing which a lot of people don't realise is that obviously behind what we do as a group and our marshals and everything else, the people that actually don't shout about it and then hand in a donation from what they've done at one of their little digs, or they've run the raffle, or we've got involved with them and stuff like that. They are as much a part of this as anybody else, because what they've done is they've as like Gary said, they feel like they want to do something, and rather than go out and do it themselves, they know that doing it with us is for the right reasons, and they're part of the bigger, wider thing. I mean, it's nothing better than when you come to our rally and you see people turn in the gate and they've raised money, and you go give them a hug and and thank them very much. They know they're actually part of that whole thing, the whole RCM, and it's not just about us and what we do and about the marshals on the day. It's like he says about people who buy a ticket. They're actually doing good by buying a ticket. If they're not interested in the charities, sometimes that doesn't really matter to us. But 99.9% of them are there simply because of that reason. They know that this makes a difference. They know that everybody's a volunteer, and it is drawn a lot of people together and made quite a thing out of the metal detecting world. And I know we probably say go on about it a bit, but up until the point before we started, there was nothing like this. You just went on a paid dig and that was it. And I know now there's a lot more people can see what we've done as a group and actually want to do their own thing now. And you get a few more of the other groups actually doing their own charity stuff and giving it to different charities.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what, they come together as a group to do something for the good of other people, and that is a massive benefit from what we started.
If we can inspire other groups to do charity events, to do the odd charity event, to help do it, they look at what we've managed to achieve with the RCM and use it as a way of inspiring them to go on and do something. That's incredible, because that is, the hobby is then sitting up and smelling the coffee and helping other people. And if we can inspire a few metal detecting groups to do charity digs, to do a weekend of charity or to do a day's charity digs. And I know there are a lot of groups now who are doing that. They are saying, well, you know what, we're going to do something. We're going to help raise money for charity. We're going to do something like that. And yes, we know the hobby has its dark side, and we know that the hobby can be quite a nasty place sometimes. I'm not going to go into it, but I've had my pretty much fair share of hate. You both know that. You know how much I've had to deal with doing this. I've had to get serious amounts of hate. John knows better than anybody what I've been through.
I'd be in court now, Gary. That was me. I'd be in court from the things you've had. But just going back to the rally, sorry, Dave, I just want to say one final thing. Thank you to the manufacturers and distributors who also support the hobby, because the one big thing at the RCM is the raffle. It's the biggest metal detecting raffle prize draw ever. And without those manufacturers, Mine Lab, Routers, Garrett, Seascope, Nocta, I've probably missed one, but they play a key part as well. They donate their machines for free. So that is really big. And it's time to go to bed.
It is time to go to bed. Gary's obviously kept us talking well over our normal threshold.
Very shy.
It is. Well, yes, we look forward, obviously, to finding out the final total. And good luck on the 21st as well.
Yeah, well, obviously, they will. We once it's recorded, I'm and John, we're sworn to secrecy, obviously, because they can't have it being announced before it's aired.
Wayne Rowlands, before you go, said he'd like to invite you to London with him this November for Remembrance Day. Everything will be paid for, both train tickets and hospitality. This will also include a tour around the Tower of London the following day. He won't take no for an answer, as this time of the year he struggles due to losing his comrades in Afghanistan. Just wants to thank you both.
Well, that's very kind of you, Wayne, and I'm sure me and John would love to take you up on that.
We missed him at the No Frills because he was going to come to the No Frills.
That's very, very kind. Yeah, and obviously everybody knows Wayne for that amazing cabinet that he built.
Yeah.
And we raffled off that raised £800, I think it was.
Yeah.
Him and Nick Barry together created this incredible raffle prize. We actually didn't raffle it in the end, did we? We auctioned it, which was the right decision because it deserved more credit than to be in the raffle. It was an amazing prize. It deserved to be in its own standalone auction that it was, and it raised over £800, I think, which was an amazing amount. So Wayne,
and he got orders.
Yes.
And he got
orders. Yeah. And so, but no, I'll reiterate before you go that without the manufacturers and dealers and other people donating raffle prizes. I won't. Speaking of the raffle, I've got to say this before we go because it's hilarious. I don't know if you've got a photo of it. I don't think I have. The
hairdryer.
The countryside learning guy rang me and said, Gary, I've never been to a metal detecting rally before, and we want to donate some raffle prizes. What should I bring? And I said, just be inspirational, do what you want. We'll have metal detectors and all the gear. I said, just get. His is another Gary. I said, Gary, just do what you want, mate. I said, promise you, when we will appreciate whatever you bring. So anyway, he brought a kettle, a toaster, set of wine glasses and a it's a bit like the generation game when you're going along the conveyor belt. You've got to remember what it was. Ugly toy. Did he do well? And one of them was a hairdryer. Oh, I wish I'd got a photo for you to put it up. Sid Perry's got a photo. Sid's not in, is he? Anyway, it was absolutely brilliant because when we went to draw the hairdryer, I shouted out into the crowd. I said, wouldn't it be hilarious if the hairdryer was won by a bald bloke? Please let it be a bald bloke. And no word of a lie, the guy who won it was as bald as a coot. And we've got a photo somewhere of him with his winning his hairdryer. Everybody's killing themselves, aren't they? And he stood there, bless his heart, and he's got this hairdryer, and yeah, bless him. And oh no, I have got a picture. I know Sid's got a picture of it, but it was so funny. You know, it just so happened that this poor.
Well, I think we'll save that when you get the final amount, Gary. We can not only have the final amount, but we'll have a video or a photo of the person who won the hairdryer. Thank you. If you're watching tonight, we never ask for this, Dave, do we? Can you just click the thumbs up on YouTube if you're watching? Because we never
don't know what it means, but do it.
Yeah, because tonight's show is inspirational. It's quite a few years now the RCM has been going, and it's got some real good motivation there. So if you're watching on YouTube, just click the thumbs up because it will help promote RCM, and hopefully the judges might think there's more than 6 people that watched the big 5 people that watched the big detecting show. So if you're watching tonight, hit the thumbs up on YouTube. If you're watching it on replay, hit the thumbs up because RCM needs as much as it can get. It's one. Yeah. So, and thank you, Gary and John.
Yeah, I want to thank you two for all of the support that the Big Detecting Show has given us over the years, and the help that you've given us, and the the magazine that you do, and the promotional stuff that you do, and obviously Adrian behind the scenes. I know I keep saying it all the time, and you don't like it, but you are one of the backbones of the RCM with all the work that you do with Lisa.
Yeah. So okay, lovely evening, and thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah, don't go there. And everyone, thank everybody, everybody associated with the RCM, and anyone who have anything to do with the RCM, whether it's just turning up and buying a ticket to helping and marshalling, anyone, the manufacturers, everybody. It is we get blown away, and we're all inspired by it, and it does blow me away, and it gets, as I said to you, it does get to me sometimes. Hearing all the stories about people, but that's what drives us on.
Adrian, guess what we're doing on Sunday?
Not wrestling.
No.
Naked photo shoot for the calendar.
Not fibula hunting.
We're going metal detection on Sunday.
Well, John, I went today.
I think Gary's internet's gone, Adrian.
Yeah, I think Lisa's cut him off. She's like,
We're back. Did you block us? No. Yeah, no, we're going out metal detecting together, aren't we, John?
Yeah. Sunday, yeah.
I don't want to know what you find. All right. Lovely evening, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you all. Thank you, Gary and John, and everyone who's had anything to do with the RCM. Back next week. Haven't got next week's guest lined up yet. And don't forget to keep your eye out for the Pride of Britain Awards. And good luck to the RCM and all who sail in it. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Take care, everyone. Love you loads.
Cheers.
Bye.